Hey guys, it's Raleigh. With the release of Visions of Eternity drawing ever closer, I wanted to take a look at one of the other aspects of the expansion. Yes, elite specializations are an important part of the way we play the game and interact with the new and old content, but mount masteries have always had a big impact on the game as well. From the recent Homestead stream, we found out that ArenaNet is planning on talking about Skimmer masteries pretty soon. With Secrets of the Obscure, the sky scale not only became more accessible for people, but made using it that much more enjoyable, and with Janthea Wilds, the Warclaw quickly became one of the more popular mounts to ride around in the open world with. So the question then is, how will the Skimmer masteries impact the game, and how significant can we expect these changes to be? Let's theorize on what we could potentially see for the Skimmer with Visions of Eternity. Alright, let's start with one mastery that I'm very excited to see if it gets added. One of the big things that made the Warclaw so interesting in Janthea Wilds to me was the idea that I could sniff and dig for treasure chests. It's probably one of my favorite features of that expansion. Previously, we had treasure chests that we could find out in the open world maps, a la Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, where we had to solve little puzzles to be able to open said chests. This was changed in the most recent expansion by utilizing the sniff mechanic of the Warclaw that let us find mounds we could dig up for treasure. My question is, will something like this return for the Skimmer? In a video I made a while ago, where I spoke of a concept of an underwater expansion, I talked about how I could see an underwater mount utilize sonar to ping for treasure on the ocean floor. I could see this mechanic make an appearance in a similar fashion for the Skimmer, where we use some kind of sound to locate treasure chests. I think that involving the new mount masteries to interact with the reward system for the new expansion would be a good idea. It made taking other mounts like, let's say, the sky scale and just flying across the maps a worse choice, since you would be missing out on free rewards. So the way we use the mounts to find treasure is definitely something I would love for them to keep. Well, what else could we speculate on? How about we look at what potential hints ArenaNet has given us so far for these masteries. In the announcement blog post for Visions of Eternity, ArenaNet said this about the Skimmer masteries: hover, dive, and soar faster than ever before as you explore the dangerous and beautiful environments of Castora. The first two, hover and dive, are both things the Skimmer can already do, with the diving having been added much later and separately from the Skimmer's first set of masteries. While one might think that this is nothing new, they say the Skimmer would be doing these things faster, and much like the Warclaw, I suspect this means we will see an increase in the Skimmer's speed. Whether this will be exclusively on water and underwater remains to be seen, but I would bet that we will see an increase on land more than on water, just to make it a viable option to use throughout the entirety of the new maps. Perhaps the new speed will be comparable to the Warclaw's new speed that it gained for Janthea Wilds, making it a good competitor for the selection of on-land mounts. To me though, the most interesting part of that sentence is the soar part. They mention hover and soar separately, which makes me think that soar speaks more to the ability to fly. Could we see a mastery that perhaps temporarily gives the Skimmer the ability to soar through the sky, almost like a third flying mount? If we think about what other things were added to the Warclaw, one ability does come to mind. With the third map of Janthea Wilds, Mistburn Barrens, we discover mist surges, or wind tunnels that come out of the ground. Prior to this, only the flying mounts, like the Griffin and Skyscale, could use the updrafts, but these mist surges were also able to be utilized by the Warclaw, making it jump high into the air. So what if we get a water variant of the mist surges that launch the Skimmer straight into the air, letting it slowly glide around the map? I think this would be a great use of that same technology, and makes the most sense when we think of how to translate that ability to a more water-based mount. These water spouts would then not completely break the game, since they would only be available in certain places of the maps, limiting the amount a Skimmer could soar through the sky. Now, is there anything else we could theorize on? Well, the attack mastery, of course. In the trailer, it is shown that just like with the Skyscale and the Warclaw in the previous two expansions, we gain the ability to attack with our mount. The trailer shows the Skimmer shooting a few beams to attack a foe. On X, I made the comparison to Sparks, Spyro's Dragonfly sidekick, who in the third game in that series could be controlled on missions. There, Sparks could shoot little magic balls to attack enemies. Not only does the new Skimmer mount skin in the trailer resemble a dragonfly, but also the sound effect is very similar, so it feels like they took some inspiration there. Now, what does this mean for the Skimmer though? The Skyscale attack shoots a fireball and inflicts burning, while the Warclaw got some great improvements on its engage skill, as well as us gaining the ability to throw a spear while riding it. In the trailer, we don't see the actual effect the attacks of the Skimmer have, and we don't know if it will be condition or power damage, but I would like to think that its attacks perhaps inflict a non-damaging condition like weakness or vulnerability. We will have to see how effective it really is. The last mastery I want to talk about today would be something that has to do with breakable walls. When the Roller Beetle was released as a mount, ArenaNet gave it the ability to crash through breakable walls. This was never really expanded on and only appeared a few times all around. When Janthea Wilds came out, we were told that the Warclaw would be getting the ability to break walls down by using their chains. While yes, this did happen, it once again didn't have much of an impact since this only came into play on Mount Balrior and had no significance in the open world. So this time around, it would be cool to have this become a thing for the Skimmer and actually be impactful for the open world. Let me break down walls on Kastora to get into some secret caves, maybe uncover a secret tunnel system under the island with cool treasure and magical caves to find. Or have us infiltrate an Inquest base by breaking down the doors using our Skimmers so that we can assault their forces. Something along those lines. Anyway, whatever ArenaNet decides to add, I would really like the Skimmer to become more versatile. Some of the Skimmer skins are some of my favorite among all the mount skins, but right now the Skimmer is really only useful in and around water. Having it be just as fast on land as it is on water would be really amazing. Hopefully you guys are just as excited as I am to see what fun stuff the Skimmer will gain. Alright, I just wanted to do a small video to theorize on what we could see next week. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye guys!